Hello, I miss you guys. I can't wait to yell at you again in class. If I've never met you before, I'm Coach Siggy. I'm a local personal trainer here in Exeter. We're gonna do some mobility today, followed by some core at the very end. The goal of this session is to feel good. We're gonna spend 30 minutes just moving body through full range of motion. For those of you who don't know what mobility is or you've never tried mobility before, mobility is using your joints through its full range of motion. So taking my arm the full length all the way around. Now, if you don't use this a lot or use your full range of motion, whether it's a shoulder or maybe you're doing a squat, if you don't use that motion, then you're gonna lose it over time. It can also lead to chronic pain, injuries, stiffness, and it can prevent you from getting the best workout. So that's what we're gonna work on today. I'm just gonna fix my camera in the middle here. We've got about 4 cameras up and running today. So when we do mobility, it's a 3-part session. So I break it down into a 3-part. It's called smash, which is your first step. That's stretching. Then we have mobility. That's where we move through our full range of motion. And then the last piece of that puzzle is activating before you go and jump into your workout or whatever it is. So mobility can be your workout, or it can be part of your warm-up before you get into your workout. If you visited me in the gym, likely I've given you a mobility program to follow, whether it was your entire program or it was just the warm-up. So if you like what we do today, you can come visit me in the gym when it's open again, and we'll get you all set up with what you need. So, like I said, starting with smash, that's the first thing. So that can be foam rolling, stretching, basically creating space within your muscles, within your joints to feel good before we go and mobilize them. So I have 10 stretches we're gonna do today, 30 seconds of each. I'm gonna demo them, and then once you think you got the hang of it, you can just jump right in. So this one you can do standing, or you can do it kneeling like I am. We're gonna take a big deep breath in, and a big deep breath out, and as we come out, we're gonna bring those hands up overhead, big stretch up. Again, you can be standing or kneeling, and then we're just gonna take that from side to side, stretching out through our side body here. Try to drop your shoulders down away from your ears. As you move side to side, getting a little bit further each time. Again, we're gonna spend 30 seconds on each stretch. Typically, I like to spend at least 30 seconds to a minute on each position. Breathing through, taking big deep breaths into your belly. If you're a little bit nervous, it's okay. This class is for everyone, so I'm going to give progressions and regressions so that you can find what works for you. Next stretch, I want you to take those hands, clasp them behind your back. You're gonna sit your shoulder blades down and back, and then you're just gonna lift your arms up. You should feel the stretch come across the tops of your shoulders, the front of your chest, okay? Pushing tall again, breathing deep into your belly here, not breathing shallow into your chest. Like I said, this class is for everyone, so if at any point you're feeling any pain, just regress the movement or take breaks as you need. There's no need to do every single thing today. Like I said, take breaks as you need. This is for you to feel good. Next one, we're gonna do a hip flexor stretch. So hip flexor is right here, that's the muscle right here. If you're seated a lot or you spend a lot of time driving in your car, typically these get really short, or if you're spending a lot of time biking or running, hip flexors get really short. So what I want you to do is come into a lunge position here. Now with your pelvis right here, I want you to just tuck it underneath before you start to shift forward. So my pelvis can move forward position and it can tuck under. I'm gonna tuck under like I'm a scared dog, tucking my tail between my legs, and then I'm gonna slide my hips forward. We're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. Should feel the stretch across the front of your leg here. Again, always breathing nice and deep when we're stretching. That will help with the relaxation process. Holding for 30 seconds here. Front heel is down, staying nice and tall, getting a little bit deeper with each breath. Okay, if this feels good, you can take a big inhale, reach overhead, getting some more stretch through the sides of the body, the shoulders. 5 more seconds. Okay, take those hands to the floor or aim them out in front of you, and you're gonna step together to the top of your mat, and you're gonna come into a forward fold position. Okay, maybe some of you can reach the floor, maybe you're up here, that's okay, that's what we're working on today. We're creating length in our hamstrings, so the back of our legs here. And hold for 30 seconds again, nice deep breaths, maybe you wanna relax your head. If this is first thing in the morning for you, or you haven't ate yet or drank any water, you only chugged a coffee, then you might get a little lightheaded for this one. So careful coming up, and as you come up, we're gonna step that other leg back into a lunge, drop the back knee, come up, readjust that pelvis, tuck it under, and then slide your hips forward. Coming into a hip flexor stretch on the other side, we're stretching out this side of our front leg, or our back leg now. Typically when people do this stretch, it is inactive. So pelvis is forward and they slide forward into this position. You can get deeper if, again, you tuck your pelvis underneath and then drop it forward just a bit. 10 more seconds here. Again, if this feels good, breathe in, reach up, drop a little bit further in that stretch. I know we've been doing a lot of Netflixing, binge watching movies, so if you've been seated a lot, this probably feels really good, and you could add this in every morning. Okay, we're gonna move into a down dog here, so you're gonna take your hands to the floor, step tall again, and then step back into your down dog. So hands planted just out in front of me. I'm gonna spread my fingers, I'm gonna grip the ground. That's gonna protect my wrist. From here, I'm gonna push my hips back, and I'm gonna feel that stretch into the back of my legs here. You might be up on your toes, that's okay. Keep working to drop those heels towards the ground. Pull that chest towards your thighs. Drop your head through the window, 10 more seconds. Again, coming out of this one slow. Slowly start to lower those knees to the floor. Come up, shake it out. Couple more stretches to go before we get into mobility. Okay? Come forward into that lunge position again. Level 1, you're gonna stay here, and on each exhale, you're gonna twist over top of your knee. Level 2, you're gonna take your hands to the floor, and you're gonna rotate open towards that knee. Eyes follow the hand, and back down. Level 3, you're gonna lift that back knee. Same thing, you're gonna rotate open towards your knee. Always rotating towards your knee. Okay, so pick your level. Again, level 3, level 2, and level 1. Whatever feels good for you, go with that. We're gonna put 30 seconds on the clock here. Now, if you Google this stretch, it's called greatest stretch ever, and that's for a reason. It probably feels pretty good right now. Make sure your front heel is down, knee is steady. It's not wobbling in and out. If it is, just readjust. Come to level 2 or level 1 if you need to. Okay? Eyes follow the hand. As I rotate up, I want to stack my shoulders. Still taking big, deep breaths here. Last one. And again, we're gonna step to the top of our mat, forward fold, stretching out the hamstrings one more time here. 2 stretches to go before we get into the mobility. Hopefully we're feeling awake now. Feeling good. Big deep breaths. Okay, step back with that other leg again. Pick your poison, level 1, up top, level 2, rotating open. Level 3, back knee lifted towards the ceiling. All right, and join me when you're ready, 30 seconds here. Front heel down. Fingers always spreading and gripping the ground whenever I have pressure on my wrist. That's going to protect your wrist long term and make your hands nice and strong, okay? Always regress if you need to. This is supposed to feel good, pain-free. Take breaks as you need, 5 more seconds. All right, I saved the best for last, 90-90 holds. If you guys are with me in the gym, you know all about 90-90. It's one of the best movements we can do for our hips, taking them through their full range of motion. So, starting first, we want to stretch out those glutes. Loosening up the glutes is going to help us later get deep into our hips. So the position I want you to be in is called 90-90. Sit onto your butt cheek here, and then you want your thigh to come straight out in front of you. Your other thigh is going to point straight out to the side wall. So I have an L shape with my legs. Then I'm going to get a 90-degree bend in each knee. Okay, so pulling my shins parallel to the front wall, other shin parallel to the side wall. From there, pull the toes in. That'll keep your legs nice and active. Then I'm gonna square up my upper body into this 90-90 position. So now my belly button's right in line with my front leg. If you're struggling to get into this position, that's okay. Sometimes just being right here is hard enough, and that's where you're gonna hold. You may even need to walk yourself out a bit. That's okay. If you feel good here, the next thing you're gonna do is keep a nice flat back, and you're just gonna lower yourself down over top of that front knee. Notice how my back's staying flat. I'm not rounding to come over here. I'm keeping this squared off position in my legs. And we're just gonna hold at the bottom for 30 seconds. Breathe through it. You should feel the stretch in that glute of your front leg. So right in the outside of your hip back here. Again, typically people tend to be tight in their glutes. Tightness means under facilitated. So it likely means if you're tight in your glutes, you're probably weak there as well. Glutes tend to be weak because we're very quad dominant in everything we do in a day. We're always using the front of our body rather than the back of our body. So if you come train with me, we're definitely gonna take some extra time to focus on the back of the body, pulling you guys back upright and reducing that pain that you have in the hips, low back, due to weak glutes. Not always the case, but typically. Okay, we're gonna just flip over. So if you can, all you need to do is windshield wiper your knees across. You can lean back if you need to set up on the other side. Or if that didn't work for you, just reset in your position so that your other shin is parallel to this wall, your other shin's parallel to this wall. And so now our L is just reversed, okay? Once you have that again, this might be enough. You might need to lean back to take some pressure off. Or if you're feeling good, square up that body and then bring yourself down over that front knee. If you want a little bit more, think about driving that knee down into the ground, feeling the stretch in the outside of your hip. Okay, if you're a yogi, this might look similar to like a pigeon pose, but our back knee is bent at that 90-degree position. This position was gonna come back to right away, so don't forget about it. We're gonna move into that mobility right away here. 10 more seconds. Big deep breaths. All right, grab a drink if you need it, or hold this position because we're gonna need to be here right away. We're gonna go through our mobility phase here now. So we're gonna do about 10 minutes of mobility, addressing the upper back, lower back, hips, and ankles, which tend to be like the tight areas that I see that lead to chronic pain or prevent people from doing their workout. So with the 90-90s, this one's a little bit difficult. So I'm gonna show you the hardest, a little bit easier, and then eventually I'm gonna show you level 1. So if you need to regress this movement, you can do so. So watch me first, and then we'll do it all together as a team. So level 3, right here, we're staying in that squared off position, okay? And instead of coming down over my knee, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift my hands up, and I'm just gonna windshield wiper my legs across, and I'm gonna drop down into the other side, driving both knees into the floor. Now, if you're like, no way, that's not gonna happen, try starting with your hands behind you and opening up your legs a little bit more, coming across each time. I'm just flopping my feet. So what I'm not doing is this. Sometimes I tend to see this. People bring their legs around them. What you wanna do is bring the knees up and over, so I'm just flopping my feet to the other side like a windshield wiper. Okay, again, if that's still a little bit tight for you, you can just lie all the way down onto your back and still have this position here, windshield wiping the knees back and forth, trying to push the knees into the floor. All right, pick your poison, level 1, 2, or 3. I'm gonna count for us. We're gonna do 10 total together as a team. So what we're doing is we're taking that femur, so your leg bone, and we're rotating it around all the way in its socket. So likely it's never done this movement before, or maybe in a really long time. If you squat and you only get to here, likely you need to add more 90-90s into your routine so you can get nice and low in that squat position. So that's what we're working on. Even though we're not lifting weights, this might make you a little bit sore because it's a range you haven't used before. So again, take breaks as you need. Coming into that 90-90 position, you guys are ready. We're gonna do 10 total. So we're gonna come across, lift the knees, rotate the body slow and controlled. That's 1. Drive the knees into the floor. All the way back. 2. Again, push those knees down. Okay, if you need to, hands back. 3. Once you've started with level 3, don't worry if you need to move to level 2 or level 1. You can move around as much as you need to find what works best for you. If you notice you're scooching across the floor or I'm getting closer to the camera, that's okay. Just make sure you're not losing this 90-90 position. I bet you all my clients just rolled their eyes when I said I was going to count because you guys know I never count. We'll call that 7. 8. Coming back, pushing those knees down, I'm getting a little bit closer. And last one, number 10. Okay, shake it out. We're gonna move into a squat stance. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on getting into this low position here. Now some of you are probably like, yeah, there's not a chance I'm getting there. This is actually a really natural position to be in. This is like the optimal position for childbirth, for going to the washroom. Lots of cultures eat in this position. It's actually a healthy position for your ankles, knees, and hips because it puts them into full flexion. That being said, if you've never been here before or you haven't been working on it, this is a really hard position to get to, and that's okay. So if you're up here for now, that's good too, okay? Wherever you're at, we're gonna work with that range. You're gonna grab onto your shins, ankles, feet, or the floor, whatever feels good for you, and then you're gonna sit your hips down. Knees come outside, the elbows here, chest up, and then I'm gonna send it right back up to the sky again, feeling that pull through my hamstrings. We're gonna go for 10. Join me when you're ready, okay? Sending the hips up to the sky, that's 1. Feel the pull in the hamstrings, come right back down. The key is you wanna keep your heels down. So if your heels are lifting, just stop a little bit higher so you can keep those heels down. Coming back down for 2, and up. 3, toes are pointing forward, elbows inside the knees, drive out. And 4. Breathing through this whole thing, and 5. I'm starting to sweat, I don't know about you guys. Number 6, send the hips up. Back down. Remember stopping within your range. Number 7, so maybe you're stopping right here. Elbows still inside, heels down. Number 8. All the way down. If you're hearing some cracking, that's okay. It doesn't mean much. And last one, 10. All right, we're gonna do that one more time through, back to the 90-90. So get squared up again, one more time through, 10 90-90 rotations, 10 squat stands. You know it now, we're all good. So when you're ready, I'll count as best as I can, coming across. 1, okay? Toes pull towards the shins. 2, squaring off, making sure I'm keeping that position. 3, I'm gonna be on the other side of the gym by the end of this. 4, 5, slow and controlled. Option to come hands back here. 6, if your legs are sneaking in, reset. 7, 8, 9, drive your knees, and 10. All right, back to the squat stand. Get yourself set up. Find a strong position for you. Feet just outside hip width. Grab onto your shins, ankles, feet, or floor, and let's drop it as low as we can, whether that's here or here, and then send it all the way back up again. For 1, join me when you're ready. 2. Again, hands can be up here. 3, maybe you're just reaching, sit low, elbows into the knees. 4, and back down. 5, okay, drive those knees out. If you're with me in class all the time, you probably miss sitting in that low squat position. We spend a lot of time here in class just hanging out. 7, make sure you're still breathing deep into your belly. 8, feeling that stretch in your hamstrings, bring it back down. 9, and last one, 10. Grab a drink, take a little break before we move into our next mobility phase here, all right? We're gonna work on the spine now, lower and upper. So, to start, we're gonna start with thread the needle. So, this is a new one, even if you're in one of my classes. This time we're gonna do it a little bit differently. We're gonna sit our hips down onto our heels. Now, if you can't get into this position, just place a pillow behind you here to hold you up a little bit more, okay? Or you can come onto all fours completely. I like this position here because it takes our low back out of the picture. What we're gonna do is we're gonna place our hands out in front of us, fingertips to temple. I'm gonna bring this elbow and I'm gonna direct it towards the, underneath towards my opposite knee. So it's gonna look like this. Watch me first, core brace, belly button pulls to spine. And I'm gonna drop that elbow towards my opposite knee, and then I'm gonna push into the floor, and I'm gonna open back up. All that rotation is gonna come from my mid-back as I take that elbow up towards the ceiling. And coming right back under again. Now notice if I'm in this position here, and I open up, see how my hips pop out to the side? We wanna keep our hips locked in place. So if you're doing your position up here, level 1, that's okay. Just make sure your hips aren't swaying back and forth or there's not a huge arch in your low back. So keep everything nice and braced, okay? So level 1, up top. Level 2, lock your hips down, okay? Again, If you're lacking range of motion or you have a big stomach where you can't get underneath, that's okay. Still have intention with the drill. Still drop yourself under and then open back up. I know that sometimes we can be limited in our movement under here, but we want to make sure that we're still going with intention. So dropping that elbow underneath. We're going to do 5 per side, all right? So we're rotating those vertebrae back and forth, creating some space. Hands out in front, spread your fingers, grip the ground, whether you're level 1 or level 2 like me right here. Fingertips to temple, I'm gonna drop my elbow underneath. As I exhale, I'm gonna bring it open, drive my hand into the floor, try to rotate just between my shoulder blades, breathe out. Number 2, slow and controlled. I'm trying to rotate a little bit further each time. And number 3, likely you're feeling a pretty big stretch here. It's not often that we rotate in this position, but likely when people come to me and they have injuries that happen, it's because of things they've done in their day, like they turned to shoulder check, or they reached in the back seat to check on their kid. That's where they get injured, and it's because we're not used to using these movements. Okay, we're gonna do the other side. Hand out in front, grip the floor, fingertips to temples. Have the intention to rotate under. Remember, you don't have to look like me today. Everybody's mobility is going to look a little bit different. Everybody's body is different. So don't stress if you can't get into the positions that I'm showing you. Move within your range because that's what's best for your body. 2 more. Pushing into the floor, breathe out, open up. And last one. All right, next one. Again, working on that spine. You're gonna lay down onto your side here and you're gonna bring your hands together like an alligator or you're clapping. From here, knees are bent, just stacked onto my side. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up that arm. My eyes are gonna follow my hand all the way open. While I do that, I'm keeping my hips facing you guys, all right? As I open up and reach my back hand towards the floor. So join me when you're ready, 5 on each side. As I come up, I'm gonna breathe out. Back hand comes to the floor and all the way back, closed. 4 more. And back. Remember, this should feel good, no pain. You likely feel a stretch across your chest and your shoulder and some rotation through your spine. Rotation through your spine and through your intestines is really good for digestion as well. 1 more. And breathe out, come open, and back in. Okay, we're gonna flip around, do the other side, so you can just rotate over, or you can do like me, flip. Hands out in front, stack your knees in front of you. Hips are gonna stay facing the front. I'm gonna open up, join me when you're ready. All the way open. Don't worry if you came for the core's coming at the end. Breathe out, open up, but we gotta make sure we have that range first. The better range we have before our workout, the more muscle we're going to be able to use, the stronger that we're gonna get, the less pain and injuries we're gonna have. Who's counting? 2 more. Last one, bring it in and open up. All right, you guys know the drill. Grab a drink. We're gonna do that 1 more time through. So, starting with thread the needle, lock your hips down or come into a tabletop position. No arch through the low back, brace the core, draw that belly button back. Fingertips to temple, let's go for 5 per side. Drop it under, elbow towards the knee, 5. Breathe out, open up, rotate above that rib cage, back down, 4. Push into the floor, open up, and 3. Breathe out, reach that elbow for the sky, 2. Try to reach for that far wall, tuck under. And last one, coming under, and open up. We're gonna switch to the other side, shake it out, reset, spread the fingers, grip the floor, fingertips to temple, drop under for 5. Open up, breathe out, keep that belly button pulled towards the spine. And 4, rotating through the vertebrae in the upper back. And 3, push that hand into the floor. That's gonna help you get a little bit further. Take that elbow up to the ceiling, try to show your armpit off to the world. 1 more. and open. All right, last mobility drill of the day. Onto your side, we're gonna do our supine twist. So, side lying, hands together. Join me, you guys know what to do, 5 per side. We're gonna open up. Exhale, eyes follow the hand, all the way back. And again, 4. Hips stay facing the front, just my shoulder opens up. 3. I like to think of it as I'm releasing a giant beach ball into the air. 2. And last one. Exhale and close. Flip around, other side, whatever that looks like for you. Reset. Hands together, coming open. For 5, eyes follow the hand. Breathe out for 4. And breathe out 3. 2, trying to drop that shoulder towards the floor. And last one of the day. Good. All right. We made it through smash, step 1. We made it through mobility, step 2. The last one we have is activate. So depending on the workout you're gonna go into, I'd probably give you either a lower body or upper body move, but one of the main things I always activate is the core because it's the foundation of all movements. So that's what we're gonna do today. We got 5 minutes to get our core done. We're going to do 4 exercises, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off to get yourself set up in the next exercise. And we're gonna try to do that 4 times through. Again, I'm gonna give you progressions and regressions for everything. Choose what works for you, not what works for me, all right? So do what's right for you. If you have pain at any point, please stop because I'm not there to help you. Take breaks as you need, skip what you need, or push right through with me. If you're one of my regulars, I'll expect that from you, you know that. I'm gonna demo first all 4 exercises, and then we'll rip through them as a team. So, the first one, single leg V-up. Number 1, you're gonna bend your knee and you're gonna try to bring that elbow across to it. Level 2, you're gonna round the back and you're gonna reach up towards that leg. Your other leg can be bent or straight, whatever's more comfortable with you. When you're doing this, you actually wanna force your low back and round your back and push into the floor. Because if you leave with an arched back or a straight back, your hip flexors are doing the work and you're putting your back at risk. So make sure whatever one you're doing, you're rounding your back to come up. Okay, so we're gonna do 20 seconds there. You can alternate sides with that one. So you go left, right, left, right. Next one, 20 seconds side plank. Level 1, bring your knees out in front of you, elbow under the shoulder. From here, you're gonna squeeze your glutes or your butt cheeks together forward, and you're gonna pull your belly button back. So you're gonna rise up and hold here. So glutes squeeze forward, hips are elevated, thinking you reach to the sky, and belly button's pulling back. Level 2, stack your feet, rise up, okay? If your hips are way behind you, send them forward, use your butt cheeks, okay? Then we'll do 20 seconds on the other side. Last one, either level 1, hold plank. When you're in a plank, you can be on your knees, but I don't wanna see hips back here in our plank. Slide your hips forward, push towards the ground, squeeze your butt, lift your belly button. Level 2, rise up, hold here. Level 3, you're gonna be here, but you're gonna add little hip dips towards each side. All right? All good? Good enough? 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, all 4 exercises. We're probably gonna get about 3 rounds in, all right?